weight loss alone in life is not success. That is not living. That is obedience. One thing that I've realised as I've gotten older is that so many people, me included, throw so much money at gyms, personal training, body improvements, but the mental health is where it all stems from. This is where the real changes happen, and this is where the things that can actually make your life better happen. And she said, point blank, well, you obviously have an eating disorder. And it hit me like a train. I was like, what? And I've realised after this massive, long 10, 11 year journey, if I'd have known about the importance of mental health at the beginning, I would have had a completely different journey. Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lauren, also known as Lose It Like Lauren here on YouTube. If you know my face, welcome back. If you are new, please click the subscribe button. Please click the subscribe button and stick around for a while. If you watch Amelia X, you will know that I stole that line from her because she stole a line from me and I'm petty. So today's video is going to be me talking about a subject that I've touched on in the past, but today I'm going to lay bare the entirety of the situation. It's been so highly requested now that I can't not make this video, and I'm really excited to kind of share this part of my life with you because, as I said, I haven't spoken about this before in a whole. So yeah, sit down, buckle up, get some hydration, and let's get into it. I always strive now on my online platforms, YouTube and Instagram, to be as transparent as possible. We live in a world which is polluted with fake social media, fake smiles, fake accounts, fake social media, fake lives, and this in turn makes us compare ourselves to something that isn't real, and this can be so damaging. So today I'm here, yeah, I've got a bit of makeup on, but that's just for the camera. Sat here, no special setup, me, raw, honest, real. So today we are talking about mental health and counselling, and when I was thinking about this video, it made me realise that I've kind of like collected the set of counsellings. So I've done one-to-one counselling, then I had a nutritional therapist, then I had another counsellor, then I went to a eating disorders specialist, then I had group counselling, and now I'm doing online counselling. So I really do know my stuff. Until a couple of years ago, I didn't even realise that online counselling was a thing, and maybe you don't either. So I'm going to run through my story, talk about the emotional journey that I've been on, then I'm going to give the pros and cons of each as a roundup at the end, so please make sure you stick to the end. This is going to be quite a journey, so as I said, buckle up. Mental health is something that we should never be scared of, ashamed of, embarrassed of. It is normal, it is natural, and mental health should go hand in hand with physical health. You really can't have one without the other. So I'm here today to normalise it a bit and just get us talking. In the comments below, I would love you to share your own story if you feel comfortable about it, to get us talking about mental health, to getting rid of the stigma that we can't talk about this subject because it is so normal, it is so natural. And yeah, let's fill my comments. That sounded weird. Fill up the comments with your own stories, your own love. If you see someone else's story, please comment. Let's get the conversation going, and also give me a little love heart emoji to let you know, spread the love. So firstly, I would like to say that this video is being sponsored by an incredible company called BetterHelp. Now, BetterHelp is a service and an app where you can get access to affordable, private online counselling. You lot know that I am ridiculously picky when it comes to working with brands, sponsorships, whatever. And I was actually using the site when they contacted me. Obviously they didn't know, but I was like, well, of course I will, because it's an incredible service. As I mentioned earlier, mental health is never something that we should be ashamed of. And the fact that BetterHelp are reaching out to people like me, influencers, to normalise / speak about mental health is absolutely phenomenal. So a massive thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video today. So as I just said, BetterHelp is affordable online private counselling. You can get access to licensed, trained, fully accredited counsellors and therapists that are LGBTQ+ friendly as well, and they're great for couples counselling. It's online, so you can do it from your house, you can do it from your sofa, you can do it from your bed. I like doing it from my sofa best, but we'll get onto that later. All you need to do to sign up is go to betterhelp.com/LoseItLikeLauren, fill out this brilliant questionnaire, and they will pair you with a counsellor who is perfect for you and you can start counselling today. Once you're paired, you're normally paired within 24 hours. I think I was paired with mine in about 5. You can choose which way that you want to talk with your counsellor after you've scheduled your appointment. So it can be either live chat, it can be phone chat, or it can be video chat. So whichever suits you best, you can choose it. When trying to pick a counsellor in real life, I found in the past that it's just so difficult. You don't know what you want, but with BetterHelp, you fill out this fantastic questionnaire during sign up, which is really quick, and it just gets you to fine tune what you want in a counsellor. So whether you want them to be male or female, religious or non-religious, LGBTQ+ friendly, it can be anything. And to do that in real life would be so time consuming and costly, but to be like click, 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 done, amazing. So now let's dive into my story, and yeah. So I'm currently 32. I know, shocking, right? Yeah. But my first experience with mental health was when I was about 5 or 6, I think. Depression ran in my family. I'm not going to tell you any more than that because it's not my place to say. But it came to it that my brother and I needed to be checked to find out if the depression had been passed on to us. So we were taken to this room. I know, sinister. We were taken to this room and we were asked to draw pictures. It's really bizarre because at the time I didn't realise that there was an ulterior motive. I just thought that me and my brother got to go to this like new cool place. There were loads of like art materials and we just got to draw all day. I mean, I am still very creative, and the fact that you can like draw and make pictures was just great. I didn't realise. But looking back, I see that day. I remember that day. I remember the dress I was wearing. I was wearing a white dress with like little flowers. I remember I was sitting on his table. You can't see my hands. I was sitting on a table. I was here. My brother was here. The light was streaming down on us. The tests proved that everything was fine. They proved that I was amazing at art. But we all knew that. The test proved that everything was fine and everything improved from there. But it was just bizarre that I remember it. I remember it being anxious. I remember it being looking back, but at the time I was oblivious, absolutely oblivious. So my first ever experience as counselling as an adult was when I was about 18. It was when I was 22. I was about 22. And I was at my highest weight. I had been recommended talking to a counsellor by my doctor because I was just really sad, I was unmotivated, I was lost, I was just not really knowing where to go with my life. So I managed to get 6 to 8, I think it was 3 sessions with the NHS. NHS is our National Health Service here in England, and I was very, very grateful. Do not get me wrong, I was very grateful for what I got. I was very grateful for the fact I got help, but that counsellor was not very good for me. She was not very well suited to me. I can't really explain it, but I didn't really ever get on with her. She was just a bit annoying, and that's not very fair for me to say, and it probably says way more about me than it says about her. But for instance, she had very short hair, and like there was always be like one bit of hair like out of place, or like her flies would be undone, or there would be like a button hanging off or a label sticking out, and it would just make me focus on whatever it was. Again, I probably was focusing on that to ignore the actual issues in the room, but hey, that's just me. And she just, I don't know, she just didn't really understand. She didn't really get me. She didn't really get me. The way counsellors work is they are meant to listen to what you say, listen to how you feel, blah, 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 and word things in a way to say them back to you. Oh, how did that make you feel? And do you think that affected the way you felt about this? Oh, yes, Susan, thank you, I think it did. Exactly, that's exactly what is meant to happen. I went to her at a time where I had just finished my silversmithing course at university. It's what I was passionate about. I love being artistic, but it didn't bring in money, and I wanted to earn a stable income. So I went for a job as a receptionist. Now, she point blank told me to not take this job. She was like, don't take that job because it's not what you want to do. And I was like, hang on a minute, Susan. Her name wasn't Susan. Hang on a minute, Susan. I'm going to take that job now. Whether that's to spite you or not, I don't know. And I stayed in that job for 5 years. I was just so, sorry, my bra's showing. I shouldn't have worn a white bra with a black ensemble, but hey. I stayed in that job for 5 years because I was like, don't tell me what to do. Again, stubborn. Probably says more about me than it says about her. But that shaped my life. That shaped my life, that job. And I loved that job for the time that I was in it. It gave me, a lot of confidence. It, helped me with my weight loss journey, and it gave me, the boss gave me time off when I had my tummy tuck. So, it served me well for the years, but I would just be interested to see what would have happened if she hadn't have said that to me. It'd be very interesting. One of the many, many, many benefits of BetterHelp is that if you do not like your counsellor, you can switch them out. You can swap them out. They won't tell them. It's not going to send it to their inbox. Lauren doesn't like you. She's going with someone else. It doesn't tell them that you can literally, like, I had someone I was paired with at the start of my BetterHelp journey, and I didn't really get along with them. So I went through the process. I want to change counsellor. That's fine. And then it gives you a list of who they have available that suits your requirements. So I was like, okay, I want him. So now I'll talk about him later, but I'm a lot happier. Well, I'm ecstatic with who I've got now. Having a counsellor in real life is like a relationship, isn't it? It's awkward if you don't want to see them again. Do you text them? Do you just not go? Like what? It's awkward if you have to break up. Whereas if you can just be like, click, 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 goodbye. Easy. I was going to do all the pros and cons at the end, but I think I'm going to do them stage by stage. So the pros for an in-person counsellor is it's an actual human experience. You have someone sat in the room with you, and you're interacting physically. What? You may find that it's easier for you to open up. For me, it's not easier to open up. Having found that since I've been with the online counselling, I found out that I can open up so much easier via the live chat method. Being a millennial, even though I am an older millennial, I grew up with MSN, I grew up with chat rooms. I came out to my best friends aged 15 and I was like, I'm bisexual. And they were like, what's that? And I was like, I'm not really sure. I've grown up expressing myself through just typing, and I can do it a lot easier. Obviously everybody's different, which is why there are the methods that you can choose, but yeah, even the pros of face-to-face counselling aren't the pros for me. Now the cons of face-to-face counselling. I have only realised that these are cons because now I have the comparison with the online that suits me so well. So I found it so difficult to open up verbally and emotionally. Now that may seem ridiculous to you because I have a YouTube channel. I have like 75,000 subscribers, but that's because I'm talking to a camera. I'm not talking to a human being. I'm talking to a piece of equipment, which yes, may seem quite, you know, clinical, whatever. But I found it so difficult to open up verbally and emotionally. Like, you've seen me cry in my videos, but you haven't seen me like ugly cry, like proper cry, like Kim Kardashian cry. Yeah, poor thing. So the thought of just being able to free flow is brilliant. The counsellor that I had would always make like minimal verbal communication, but like maximum scribbling. So it'd be like, Then I was like, what the hell are you writing? It would drive me insane. Sometimes I even wanted to like snatch the pad, which is, again, says way more about me than it would ever say about her. But it would just make me so self-conscious, like, what are you writing? I mean, she could have just been writing her shopping list, like, what do I need today at the shops? I'm gonna get some ham. And if the counsellor is on the other side of a screen, you can't see what they're doing. You don't know what they're writing, you don't know what they're thinking. They're not pulling a possible facial expression. That was another thing. She would be like, oh, really? It's like, is that bad? And it would make you think, oh, no. It made me so anxious. And I'm not an anxious person. It like ticked all my anxious boxes. All of them. Now let's move on to 2011, 7 years ago. So what? I was 25. 25. After I'd lost a little bit of weight, I still had issues with my food and I thought that I needed to go to a nutritional therapist. Now, I found her, I think, online. I can't even remember. I remember seeing her picture and thinking, okay, she looks nice, she looks professional. But again, don't really know anything about them apart from the blurb, so I went along. This session, this 1 hour session, cost me £135. Now that is 175 US dollars, $175 for 1 hour. For that amount of money, she basically told me that I was okay. Like, I knew about intuitive eating, I knew this, I knew that. Like, I went over the top a bit, but you know, that was kind of normal. Well, I ended up speaking about my ex-boyfriend actually for most of the hour, which was not about food. But that just shows, doesn't it? People that have food issues never sit there in the therapy room being like, I really like cake, do they? It's never about the food. It's never about the food. It's always about something else. But that is an issue for another video. This session cost me $175 for the hour. This brings me on to the price point of BetterHelp. So BetterHelp ranges between $35 a week and $65 a week for unlimited counselling. This means that you can be connected to your counsellor via the app or via your website on your laptop all the time. BetterHelp is cheaper than in-person counselling. If the price point is still out of your means, there is financial aid that you can apply for, which is like the cherry on the cake with this company, if you ask me. So now it is 2013. I am currently trying to apply to get my tummy tuck done via the NHS in the UK. And to do this, you need to have physical and psychological evaluations. You need to go and see a therapist. You need to fill out about a 100-page questionnaire to prove that you're sound of mind and that, you know, you can take it, you deserve it, and all this ridiculous stuff. So I got through, I passed, obviously, had my tummy tuck, and after that, I got a letter through the post saying you're due a psychological appointment. So just like an appointment with a counsellor, and I thought, oh well, that's good. They're obviously doing like post-op checkups to check how you're doing mentally and that you're okay, blah blah blah. So I went along and I sat down, and she looked at my notes and was like, why are you here? And I said, bearing in mind I'd taken the day off work, my mum was with me, it was such an ordeal to get to the hospital, Royal Free in London. I had to pay for parking, which was like £100 an hour. And yeah, so she was like, why are you here? I was like, I thought it was a post-op evaluation. And she was like, well, yeah, that would make sense, but we don't do those. Anyway, long story short, she was like, well, this is just an error. You shouldn't be here, but I'll give you an appointment anyway. So during the appointment, we were talking about food, talking about stuff, da 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 da. And I was talking about the way I ate and food. And she said, point blank, well, you obviously have an eating disorder. And it hit me like a train. I was like, what? I can still remember that feeling. At first I was shocked, I was overwhelmed, but then I was like relieved. I thought, finally, I've been put in a box. As humans, we like to label, we like to box things off so we feel safe and we feel knowledgeable in the fact that once it's in a box, we can deal with it. And I was like, okay, well, this explains a lot. Nobody's ever said this to me before, amazing. She was also talking a lot about self-care, about treating myself to like manicures and facials and stuff, and just being lovely to myself, which doesn't involve food. But at that time I was still so damaged. I just thought to myself, it's not food, it's not food, it's not food, it's not food. I had this new body. I just had a tummy tuck. I had this body I'd dreamed of my whole life, and I felt like a prisoner in it. My mind hadn't been fixed. My mind still felt like I had so much work to do. In my tummy tuck before and after video, I was dosed up to the eyeballs on tramadol. Oh my god. I actually say in the video, this body is a good body to work on. And my back rolls have gone a bit because they've pulled them round. My bum needs to do more squats to get it better. But it's a great body to be able to start working on again and get to how I want it to be. I was still looking to change myself. I said that I needed to squat to get a bigger bum. I was so unhappy with the way I looked, even after I'd been through, actually I had 2 surgeries in the end. Had the tummy tuck, then I had the blood clot removal. I still wasn't happy. Still wasn't happy because I hadn't fixed up here. I hadn't made peace with myself. So from there, she wrote to my doctor and I was referred to St Anne's Hospital in London. Now, St Anne's specialise in eating disorders. I know, scary, right? Yeah. I remember I had to wait ages for my appointment, and then I finally got there, and then I nearly didn't see someone because my appointment clashed with someone else. It was all just a shambles. So I saw this really lovely young guy, and I started talking to him about my past, giving him a bit of my story, and then I told him about what that woman said, and he literally looked at me blank. And he was like, you do not have an eating disorder. He said, I have seen everything here. You do not have an eating disorder. Not to put any negativity on anyone who does suffer with eating disorders. This is just my own personal story. He said, look, you do have disordic ways with the way you eat, the fact you binge and you sometimes purge and blah, 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 blah. Don't think I've ever even mentioned that before. You have disordic ways with the way you eat, but you do not have an eating disorder. He then followed on to say that he would recommend me to like one of these binge eating therapy groups, but sometimes they can make people worse. For instance, if you see someone that is slimmer or has a better figure than you and you hear them talking about a coping mechanism they do, you can take on behaviours that you didn't originally have, that you wouldn't originally had unless you went there. So he was like, look, I'm gonna give you some advice, blah, blah, blah. Just, you don't need to go to this thing. You're okay. You just need to sort it out, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, that was it. I only had one appointment there. I kind of felt like I was alone again, tossed out into the world. After that, I didn't focus on my mental health for a long time, I don't think. I was so obsessed with food and obsessed with my new tummy tuck body. Just obsessed and scared that I just kind of like retreated into myself. My life became my body, my life became weight loss, the gym. I got so obsessed with the gym. It's funny, isn't it? If somebody is seen to be overweight or not at their ideal weight, if they're ridiculously exercising, it's not seen as an issue. But yeah, if somebody has anorexia and they're over exercising, it's seen as an issue. It's funny how we judge based on body type. Everyone judges based on body type. I was obsessed with cutting carbs, and I was obsessed with over exercising. And if anything, I did, as he said, I had disordered ways with the way I was, but it wasn't official. So yeah, I didn't approach my mental health for a long time until 2016, November, let's say. I was still living at home, aged 30, and I had a breakdown. I had cried obviously a lot in the past, but this time I felt like something had snapped in me. I had nothing going for me. I was so frustrated with the fact that I was 30. I had nothing to show for my life apart from the weight loss. Weight loss alone in life is not success. That is not living. That is obedience. Let me say that again. Living your life purely to lose weight and see that as your only success is not living. It is not success. It is obedience. But again, this is a topic for another video. All I had was a weight loss journey. If I went on dates, all I would be like, oh yeah, I've got a weight loss journey. I have a YouTube channel. Nothing. That was it. That's all I had. And yeah, it was impressive. Don't get me wrong. I'd lost 10 stone. It was like, oh, amazing, amazing, you're amazing. And I got addicted to the compliments. I got addicted to that. And I got addicted to the highs of constantly being complimented about how great I looked and how good I was doing. But that wasn't what I was meant to be doing in my life. So yeah, broke down in front of my mum. I could tell that she was worried even though she didn't say anything. And I said that I wanted to move out, and I was sad and I wanted to start my life. Again, start my life. What is this about starting your life? What does that mean? Does that mean as soon as you get to a certain weight, you're automatically going to start your life? No, it just means that you're putting excuses and obstacles in the way of actually standing up on your own 2 feet. Anyway, so I didn't feel like I'd stopped crying for hours and hours, and after a bit of research, my mum spoke to a friend who is a social worker, and she gave us the contact for a centre that deal for therapy for women. So I called up and they were like, well, we're full, but you know, you've had the issues for a long time, so come in. I was like, well, thank you. Not sure if that's good or bad. So I went in for a consultation, again, maximum scribblage, minimum verbal, and yeah, cried. Embarrassing. And she was like, look, I don't have any openings for one-to-one counselling, but she was starting a government-funded 30-week group counselling course. Did I want in? Yes, I wanted in. I had no idea what to expect. So that started in 2017 in the January. Yeah, in the January, 30 weeks group counselling started. I had no idea what to expect, absolutely no idea. I will say right now that 30 weeks changed my life. I could never imagine that I'd be living in the current position I am, but it was so hard, so hard. So I walked into the room first day. There were 8 of us at the beginning. 2 dropped out, which was actually good because group counselling is difficult for 6 individuals, 7 including the counsellor. But if there were like 8 people trying to chime in, it would be too much. So luckily 2 of them dropped out. No offense to them. I'm just talking on a number perspective, not a personality perspective. But I walked into the room, there were 6 of us, all different ages, sizes, race, religion. And I looked around and I thought, well, I'm not sure I can really see any comparison between us. And the therapist was like, look, you're going to see mirrors in all of you. And I was like, not sure how. But it was true. You saw mirrors in each other, and it was wonderful. There was one woman, for instance, who had a daughter same age as me, and she learned a lot about the way she spoke to her daughter and her relationship with her daughter through what I said, and vice versa. I learned a lot about what the way I was acting, how it was affecting my mum as well. And yeah, it kind of taught me, as much as I am amazing to my mum, it taught me just to be a lot kinder with, because my humour is a lot of like making fun of, and I know I still do it, but I've stopped doing that quite a lot. So that was definitely a pro, having the other women, different walks of life. There's comfort in knowing that you're not alone. You know, you all turn up at the same time every week. There's kind of just an unspeakable bond between you. It was a really, really lovely group. Now for the cons. Are you sitting down? Are you holding on? I often felt like my emotions were not worthy in that group. That is nothing against the ladies in the group with me. It was my own self-doubt. Again, it says more about me than it says about them, whatever. But I felt like one of the ladies was talking about her horrific abuse. The other one was talking about ending her life. And I was saying, well, I like food a bit too much and I think I'm a bit fat. I didn't feel worthy enough. Again, I did voice this, and it was obviously, I was told that everyone's emotions were valid, but I never felt valid enough there. But that's just personal. Sometimes I thought that I was out of my depth and that I was in the wrong group. But at the end of the day, you can't pick and choose your level of counselling, can you? Like severe, medium, you can't pick it. And then sometimes I would leave counselling and I would drive home, and the thoughts in my head would be so loud, like I would have to turn up the music in my car to be deafeningly loud. I was that knobhead driving down the road with loud music just to drown out the thoughts in my head. And then the thoughts in my head would lead me to binge after a lot of the sessions. So it was a big emotional roller coaster. The time limit of the session was really hard. So we had an hour and a half, but for 6 people or wanting to like speak, it was not long enough. So firstly, if someone else got a lot of time, you would feel negative. I would personally feel negative towards them. I'm like, well, you took up a lot of time. We hear this every week kind of thing. But yeah, if you got the floor, if you got to speak, you wouldn't want to take up too much time, because you don't want to feel like you're taking up too much time, because you want to give other time to other people, because you're thinking, well, I don't really want to speak much because they might have things they want to talk about that are more important than my problems. So it was very, very me trying to be politically correct bollocks, really. But sometimes you would get on a path of something that didn't really matter, and then you'd feel guilty for wasting the time in the hour and a half. It was all very... On a massively positive note, the women I met there were incredible. I, as I said, had some massive realisations. One of the realisations I had was about my sexuality. Now, the counsellor was gay. She never said it, but it was, I don't know if this is rude of me to say, but it was obvious. And I'd never really been around a lesbian before, and I'm not sure if it just kind of like triggered something in me to be like, hang on a minute, I need to, you know, branch out my dating options. So the counselling started in January. I opened up my Tinder, lol, in April, and then in the May was when I met Helena, not on Tinder. We're going to do a how we met video soon. But yeah, and then obviously the relationship's been going strong nearly a year and a half since then. And I don't know if I hadn't done the counselling if I would be in this position now. So that's very kind of strange for me to think about. I also admitted to myself that I had been living my life in fear. I had blamed a lot of my holding myself back on other people. But actually it was because I was scared. I blamed my food addiction on the fact it was a food addiction, and really it was fear. And I'm working through that. It's something that is still a constant in my talks with my counsellor. But it was a massive realisation. So props to me for working that out. Now we are up to present day and my BetterHelp experience. Now, as I said before in the video, I had a counsellor at the beginning who I didn't really get along with. She, again, just didn't gel. And then I picked another guy, and he has been fantastic. He's made me see things recently that completely didn't enter my mind. I feel like having the friends that I have, and having had so much counselling, I feel like I'm quite good at seeing the reasons behind my thoughts and self-counselling myself quite a lot. But recently I've had a few things going on up here that he's been like, well, this is obviously this. And I'm like, oh my God, yes. And it's made me feel a lot better about myself because I've been putting myself down for certain reasons. I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty. But he's been absolutely fantastic. So what are the pros of BetterHelp? Well, the pros of BetterHelp have been this whole video. And the thing I love about this sponsorship is the fact that I would be saying these things if it was sponsored or if it wasn't. And I was gonna make this video anyway, this is the crazy thing. And there are so many pros. You do not have to leave your house. You can do it from your bed. You can do it from your sofa. You can do it from the front garden. What? You can do it... You can do it from anywhere. One of the main reasons why people don't go to counselling is because you have to go out of your house. And the fact you can do it from the comfort of your house is amazing. You can schedule your own appointments. You can click the time. It's not just the time that suits them, it's the time that suits you as well. It's affordable, there's financial aid. If you don't like the person, you can change. It's just amazing. This isn't even really a con, it's just something that took a bit of getting used to. Obviously, you know, if you're texting somebody and you don't write LOL or an emoji after it, they're like, you mad, bro? Or like, what's up, what's wrong, are you okay? Obviously, it's typing, so it takes you a little bit longer to get used to the therapist or counsellor, whatever you want to say. But that was absolutely fine. So I didn't just launch into live chat with him straight away. We did some emails first and then it went on to the live chat. So it just took us a little bit of time to get used to each other. Also, he's American and I'm English. So there's obviously the I'm not going to say language barrier, the vocab barrier. Like I said the other day, what did I say? I just chilled out. I was just chilled, I think I said. And he was like, chilled? And I was like, oh, he was like, oh yeah, get it. So it just takes a little bit longer to get used to each other. But then it's all gravy, baby. It's all gravy. Oh my God, I'm not cool enough to say that. So, any more cons? No. Obviously, as you can tell from this video, I could not recommend BetterHelp enough. One thing that I've realised as I've gotten older is that so many people, me included, throw so much money at gyms, personal training, body improvements, but the mental health is where it all stems from. This is where the real changes happen, and this is where the things that can actually make your life better happen. It's not about physical, it's about the mental, and this is why I want to bring more of an awareness to the mental health side of things. And I've realised after this massive, long 10-11 year journey, if I'd have known about the importance of mental health at the beginning, I would have had a completely different journey. So I hope you have enjoyed this journey into my past, into my headspace today. It's definitely been eye-opening for me, and it's been quite emotional to put it all on a plate like this. I haven't really thought about it as a journey before. But yeah, I hope I've inspired you to get talking, to get feeling normal about things that go on in your head, because we all experience mental health, we all experience needing to talk to someone, and it's also nice to talk to someone that isn't a loved one or family member, because sometimes you have stuff that you wouldn't want to talk to your family members about, stuff that you might not want to talk to anyone about, something that you want to talk to somebody private about, and this is what BetterHelp is perfect for. So all you need to do to sign up is go to betterhelp.com/LoseitlikeLauren, fill in the awesome questionnaire, get paired with someone perfect for you, and start today. Thank you so much for watching today. Keep smiling, keep smashing, and I'll see you very soon. Bye. You, me, we are never too old to follow our dreams of whatever it will be. Hey, hey. Pretty baby.